Gymnastics Association welcomes you to the Cash Cup 2. And we're live with the second ever professional gymnastics competition, the WGA Cash Cup 2. Once again, the best pro gymnasts in the world have submitted routines, scores will be released, new skills will be shown, and never seen before combos will be done. My name is Owen, and I am joined by Lucas, and we will be your hosts for today. Now, Lucas, I know the Cash Cup 1 was exciting, but what makes this competition even better?
Well, for starters, we have double the amounts of athletes competing. But not only that, we will see more world champions, Olympians, and other elite gymnasts. This means that the competition will be even tighter, and getting into the podium will be a great challenge.
Well, I agree, it definitely will. Let's head over and take a look at the format and the prize pool for today.
For today's format, it's going to be a virtual competition much like the first Cash Cup. The best pro gymnasts worldwide record and submit their Cash Cup routines online. The competition is based off of the gymnast's performance on each individual event, not their overall combined score.
For the prize pool, in first place will earn you $1,000, second place $400, and third place $265, and that's per event. So that means in total we have a $10,000 prize pool for the Cash Cup 2. And not only that, but we also have leaderboard points. This can help you get onto our global leaderboard. These can help you qualify for future competitions, and not only that, but you see there the winning nation will earn free registration for the next WGA Cash Cup. So as you can see, first place will get you 20 points on our leaderboard. Second place, 15, third, 10, all the way down to 10th place will earn you 1 point. Not only that, but a new skill will get you 3 new points. Alright, moving on to our roster for tonight. From Italy, we have Carlo Macchini. From Egypt, Yahia Sharara. Representing Netherlands, Lauren de Monk. From Great Britain, Joe Fury. Australia, Lachlan Ferrado. And from Turkey, Aga Kazim Rustamov. From New Zealand, we have Misha Kudanov and Sam Dick. From the United States, we have Gavin Doherty. And from Uzbekistan, Abdullah Azimov.
Representing Egypt, we have Sif Yassar. Representing Jordan, Ahmed Abdul Al-Saad. Representing Great Britain, Owen Courtney. Representing Canada, we have 3 people, Leandre Savy, Connor Fielding, Jason Rampersad. Representing the United States, another 3 gymnasts, Ian Gunther, Ben Letvin, Noah Doran, and from the Netherlands, Yaz Ramsahai.
Alright, on page 3, we have Renee Cornier and Felix Dulce representing Canada. From Great Britain, we have Luke Marsh. From the United States, Riley Luce. Representing New Zealand, 2 gymnasts, Daniel Stoddard and Sam Marshall. Once again from Canada, William Amard. From the Netherlands, Jermaine Grunberg. From Belgium, Noah Kuavita. And last on this page, from Kazakhstan, Milad Karimi.
Moving on to page 4, representing Germany, Ron Filipiak. Representing Ireland, Michael O'Neill. Representing Canada, Max Houston Gates, Cole Solomons, Quinton Foster, Benjamin Astorga, Kenji Taman, and Dorian Doan. Representing the United States, Oscar Karima Pujol, and representing Mexico, Josue Hernandez.
Alright, and on our last page, from Australia, Ritam Malik. From the United States, we have Andrew Lehman, Alex Diab, and world champion Steve Nederazic. Another world champion, Nicola Bartolini from Italy, and Marco Laudadio. From Australia again, Lachlan Davis. From Finland, Pavel Titov, and from Canada, Ashton Kotler. Last thing before we begin, the WGA would like to thank its primary sponsors and partners for this event, starting with Meat Critique. Meat Critique is an innovative new routine feedback system where you can send in routines to qualified gymnastics judges and get all of your deductions displayed in real time.
Next up is Locked In Athletics. Locked In Athletics is a sports apparel brand made by gymnasts for gymnasts, allowing you to have the best clothing to train in. They have both men's and women's athletic clothing, with new fashion items being released all the time.
Last is McIsaac & Company, your trusted law firm serving Western Canada. If you are facing legal challenges, look no further. With numerous locations throughout British Columbia and Alberta, McIsaac & Company conveniently serves you. They specialize in a broad range of legal fields. Visit McIsaacandCompany.com for more information. And here we are over to the event randomizer. We'll find out what our first event is for this Cash Cup.
Looks like our first event is going to be Pommel horse.
Reigning champion Steve Nedorozic is competing once again. Last time he scored a 16.4.
It's definitely going to be a tight competition this year.
Up first, we have Carlo Macchini from Italy.
Nice scissor half to start.
Carlo Macchini specializes on just pommel horse and high bar. We'll see him later today on high bar as well. Working into some nice travels here.
The bright orange lungs definitely make those players more appealing. Good extension, keeping the rhythm.
Working to the Magyar Savado sequence.
You can see the circle starting to slow down. Hopefully he's got the stamina to keep it going.
Oh, and there it is. Struggled to make it up to the handstand on that dismount, but he finishes well, manages to get it around.
All right, the bar has been sent.
Let's take another look at that flare travel. One of the best highlights from this routine. And that's going to score him a 15.3. Not a bad score to start off this competition.
Definitely a good start. Let's see what we have next.
Start value of 16.4, just over a point in deductions. He managed to stay fairly clean in that routine. Next up, Yahia Sharara from Egypt. You may have seen on social media that he has a new skill coming up. We'll see what the rest of his routine looks like. And there it is, there's the Sharara.
Short and sweet. That routine was only a couple skills.
Yeah, so here it is, new skill. And it gets an E value, but when you add the turns in that he's doing for this dismount, it's an F. Although, I do believe he has a few short routine deductions in there, so that may explain the 11.5 we see there. Start value of 13.4.
But you know, Owen, one of the things I love about this is this virtual Cash Cup allows people from all over the world to be able to submit their routines and show their best gymnastics.
Definitely, and there's certainly an appeal in inventing new skills, just like we saw from Yahia Sharara. A pike press dismount from one handle. Anyways, here's Lauren de Monk from the Netherlands.
Heel nice.
Nice clean scissor to handstand.
He came second on pommel horse at the 2022 European Championships, so we can expect a strong performance from him. A little piked there in that zone.
Saved it well, though.
Looking to the triple Russians on one handle. And again, the triple Russian in the middle.
Impressive. Not too many gymnasts will see do that.
Vlak houden deze.
Good extension on the one handle.
Vlak.
Makes use of the repetition rule there by doing two flops. Working into his travels now.
Goed zo, jongen. Kom aan. Snelheid nu, snelheid.
Long routine here. We're going to be coming up soon to the dismount. This is where that endurance really matters.
Come on, let's go. Op die beugel en handstand. Come on. Hop.
And he floats up well in that dismount. A good routine from Lauren de Monk. Take another look at that triple Russian. You see the legs coming up out just a touch.
And with those two handles, there's not very much hand movement. So every hand position counts.
A 15.9 shoots him into the lead. A huge start value of 17.4. Unfortunately, a few form deductions caused him to have a bit lower of or a bit higher deductions than the other competitors. Anyways, up next, Joe Fury from Great Britain. And you know, he's been making great use of our rulebooks. We'll see what we have in store from him.
Wow, the double connection. That's
and
awesome.
He's not done yet. And he's going to do that right into a flop. That's 4 in a row. Huge bonus there. Wugini into the triple Russian. Now he's finishing up with his travels here. This can be a massive score. We'll see if he can keep it together on the dismount.
Beautiful flare travel. Simple dismount. Clean and easy.
Yeah, a little low on the dismount. That is a 3/10 deduction. But take a look at these zones. He connects 3 of them in a row. He works up so many points in connection. And look at that, a 17.0. That is massive.
18.2 start value. That's going to be one of the highest start values I think we see of the day.
And remember, last Cash Cup, Steve Nedorozic won with only a 16.4. That's 6/10 higher. Anyways, Misha Kudanov from New Zealand on Pommel horse.
Misha's been very consistent throughout both the first Cash Cup and hopefully into the second Cash Cup. Can't wait to see what he does.
For sure, we'll see him on quite a few events today. Starts off with a scissor to handstand.
Misha's got a pretty fast circle tempo. A little bit faster than the previous gymnasts we've seen.
Yeah, doesn't have quite as high of a start value, although he's not bad at execution.
A true all-arounder.
In fact, he's been to every world championship since 2007. That's certainly an impressive feat.
That was a clean routine, but I don't know if it's going to be able to enough to break into first.
Take another look at his travel sequence. You see his legs are together, although he does bend his arms just a touch on the handles. All that adds up. And a 13.3, not a bad score, but unfortunately can't compete with the rest of the field today. Start value of 14.8. Here's Abdullah Azimov from Uzbekistan. See him on quite a few events today as well.
Nice scissor to handstand, little strength, and a lot of swing. That's exactly what we want to see.
And he's so good at keeping perfect form on this event. In fact, he came 9th on Pommel horse in the 2022 World Championships.
Great extension and very fluent circle.
You can expect almost no deductions in this routine.
But it's really going to come down to that start value. Is he able to play the code to be able to make sure that D score is high enough?
Oh, and into the dismount. Let's see. Oh, and he floated through that. That was so smooth. Take another look at that form. His body's almost completely straight.
When an average pommel routine has 20, 30, 40 circles, every 10th matters.
16.2 is going to put him in second place. And look at that start value, 16.9, barely any deductions. Unfortunately, just didn't make quite as good of use of the connection bonus in the WGA rules as Joe Fury did. That made up the difference. Here's Saif Yasser from Egypt.
Quite the training facility.
Nice half travel there. And oh, a big skill there. Magyar stepping over both of the handles.
Same thing on the way back, stepping over each handle.
Dogil.
That tongue fei. Grinding it through the Russians. A little bit off balance, but
Little
well played.
Little low on the dismount. It looks like he might have taken a step there as well. Don't want to be taking steps on pommel horse dismounts. And that's going to score him a 13.3. Not bad from Saif Yasser. That'll put him in 6th place. You see Misha and Saif scored the exact same score, but because Misha Kudanov submitted routines earlier, that's the tiebreaker. Oh, and we have another big routine here. Ahmad Abu Al-Sad, 2022 silver medalist on pommel horse.
All right, we can expect great things, but will he rival Joe Fury?
Called a Vaman there. And he also steps over both pommels in his Magyar. Look at how clean he is. There's been almost no deductions so far in this routine.
Very long arm span allows him to travel that pommel horse with ease.
I would say that he's the best at pommel travels in the whole world, although somewhere where he's not quite as good is on the one handles that we're seeing right now. Up into the dismount. Well, a little slow in that full turn. Oh, I don't know. I think this is going to be a tight one. He may not have had good connection bonuses, but his form, perfect.
And definitely made up for it with the travels. Oh, a tie.
A 17.0. And look at that tiebreaker rule coming into effect. Joe Fury maintains his lead. And a 17.4 start value. That means only 0.4 in deductions.
Clean routine, for sure. Moving on to the Canadians.
Rampersad, Pro Cup 2.
As you just heard from the teammate there, here's Jason Rampersad up on pommel horse. And you know, it's his best event. So really, this might be his only chance at Cash Cup glory. Starting off with the scissor. Pretty common start. We'll see that a lot today. And there's the sewn full
Nice.
turn on one hand.
Very clean. Seemed to be able to maintain his balance throughout the skill.
Beautiful.
Nice one-handle work.
Oh, that's the swing.
Beautiful extension.
Nice.
Wooginian.
Good.
Going right into the Roth. Good travel sequence.
Tight, tight. Good
So
legs
that is a
here,
Russian
good
travel of
legs.
720 degrees there, and then it was 540 degrees on the way
Jay.
back.
Maggio
Nice.
Savato. It's going to come
Fish
down
on
to
the
the dismount here.
Up. There you go.
Oh, beautiful
Legs.
best dismount.
Clean in speed, and a stuck landing.
Will he be able to get into the top three? We'll have to find out. It's quite a high standard to me. We saw Abdullah Azimov, 16.2, currently in third place. And there we have it. Jason Rampersad scores a 15.7. And you know, that's a huge score, but just not quite enough to track him into that top three. Next up, Renee Cornier from Canada.
Renee is an Olympic gymnast and was the Canadian 2021 Tokyo Olympics selected athlete. Let's see what he can do on Pommel.
Now, Pommel's not one of his better events, but we saw him start off well with some scissor work there. Making good use of the Russian skills there.
Clean press up, nice easy routine. Maybe didn't play to the rules that we need to see in order to hit that podium spot.
Yeah, he does connect those two checks there. That'll earn him 0.1 in bonus. Just doesn't quite have the difficulty to rival the rest of the gymnasts. 14.2 from Renee, not a bad score.
And that lands him in 7th place. Joe Fury still holding the first place though.
Felix Dulce,
And
Pro Cup
here
2.
is another Canadian, Felix Dulce.
Felix is one of Canada's top all-around athletes,
Allez,
but Pommel's
Dulce,
definitely
let's
one
go.
of his
Come on.
struggle events. So let's see what he can do.
Starts off this scissor
Hey,
handstand with a
yeah.
half turn. That earns him an extra
Allez,
10.
Dulce. Puss.
A little pike on those
Ouais,
circles
monsieur.
there.
Allez.
And in these travels. But he makes
Come
good
on.
use of Russians here.
Very fast Russian.
Ouais.
Quick hand placement.
Go,
Might just have a
Dulce.
few leg separations up into the dismount. Double turn. He
Okay.
excels at the scissors and dismount from
Très
Pommel
bien.
horse.
Overall, a well-done routine for Felix.
Take another look at that scissor. That half turn he does there, quite unique. 13.2 from Felix Dulce, putting him in 10th place. Start value of 15.3. As you see, he got quite a few deductions there, but not a bad job from him overall. And that's halftime. Joe Fury currently leads the way. We'll see if anyone can rival him after the break.
Welcome to Delio, simplified same-day local delivery. Proudly Canadian, we are tech and delivery experts who created a valuable delivery extension for your business. Affordable rates, website integrations, and an on-demand delivery agent network enables you to focus on your core business, reduce cost, and increase sales. Getting started is easy, and requesting and tracking deliveries is even easier. Partner with Delio today and experience the Delio difference.
Welcome back. Here's Riley Luce on Pommel horse from the United States, and we can expect an exciting routine from him.
Also an all-around great athlete. Let's see what we can see on Pommel.
Starts off with some good scissor work. Gets a bit higher than some of the other gymnasts we've seen. A scissor to handstand, 3 scissors at the start of the routine. You don't see that too often.
Nice handle work. Trying to keep that extension. It's a little bit hard on the one handle.
Some beautiful Russians there.
You'll notice one of the biggest errors is always those transitions from one position to another.
Oh, very speedy in the turns there. Goes straight up to the handstand.
And takes no deductions from the landing.
Well, I'd sure hope that he takes no landing deductions on pommel horse. A little piked on that one handle circle, not a big deal, but look there, he actually connects into another skill, earning a bonus. A 15.7, a pretty huge score, but that's only going to land him in 6th place. Loses on tiebreaker to Jason Rampersad. And here is Sam Marshall from New Zealand. You may have seen that Sam invented some new skills here called the Marshall 1 and Marshall 2. We'll see them at some point in this routine. Starting off there with the Marshall.
As he goes into the Marshall 2, take note of his hand placement.
Hits his legs a little bit on the horse there. And again there, some form deductions. Into the dismount, legs apart again.
It was a struggle, but he fought through it. He seems to be very happy with that performance.
And big cheers from the teammates.
It might not get him on the podium, but those 2 new skills are definitely pretty cool to see in the routine.
And we're watching one here. There's the Marshall, given a D value. And here's the Marshall 2, a half Russian with a half travel. A bit lower to C value.
Big shout out to Locked In Athletics as that official new skill partner.
It shows scoring a 13.1. Not going to land him on the leaderboard. Start value of 15.3. But one thing that will remain forever is the 2 new skills that he's invented. Another Canadian, William Amard.
William Emor, Pro Cup 2. Canada.
William's been struggling with injuries over the last couple of years, and this year has been his real comeback. So excited to see him doing all around and doing really well. Let's see what he's got on Pommel.
Once again, pommel horse isn't his best event, but we'll see him on other events later today. Maybe he can score higher on those. Good scissor work to start off. Common sequence we see.
Some slight piking in the circles, but overall got some good speed and keeping the flow.
A little piked in the Russians there.
Bien.
Up into the dismount. Oh, I thought he was going to fall there. Just about made it around.
What a save. All right, clean routine from William.
Take another look at the scissors here to start off. Gets his leg above the shoulder. That's what you're looking for. If the leg manages to get above the shoulder, it's no deductions on the scissors. 14.7. Pretty good score. Managed to stay quite clean in that routine. Very low deductions.
And again, that's going to land him 8th place. So we won't see him in the.
Up next, we have Ron Filipiak from Germany. First German athlete to compete in a WGA competition.
I haven't seen much gymnastics from Ron, but let's see what he's got on Pommel.
Little piked in the circles to start off. And pausing a bit in the scissors.
It looks like Ron's definitely trying to cut out circles from the routine, utilizing the scissor work.
There's the travel to the end, and I don't know if I'd quite call that a dismount. Heard him smack the pommel horse at the end. Well, good for him for giving the Cash Cups a try, even though he might not have a shot at winning. Gonna score him a 7.1. Unfortunately, that's gonna put him about 10 points out of the top 3.
A little bit unfortunate, but I'm sure we'll see Ron back in the Cash Cup.
Yeah, let's hope so. Anyways, Benjamin Astorga from Canada.
starting off strong with those nice circles. Good extension in the hips.
There are the flops on one handle. Notice how he does no circles into it. In the WGA, no extra circles are required. Looking into his travels there, Maggio Savato. And up into the dismount. Bit of a struggle.
He fought through it. Overall, a pretty good routine. Let's see if that's enough to get him on the leaderboard.
See the check and the Stockleys there that he started off his routine with.
I really like the start of his routine with those strong circles.
14.4. Gonna land him in 9th place. A 15.2 start value, only 8/10 in deductions. Very clean. Just needs to work on his difficulty for future competitions. Here's Dorian Doan, also from Canada, seeing a lot of Canadians here today. No scissor at the start of the routine there.
Oh, into some flare work. Nice, good flares over top of the handle. Utilizing flare travel.
Let's go.
Little bit piked there. Maggio Savato.
Come on.
Struggling to stay on over that second handle. Momentum slowing down.
Oh, and he struggles a bit on the dismount. Oh, and a step on the landing.
I don't think that was the dismount he was going for, but he made it through.
I don't think so either. Let's take another look. This is where it really started to go downhill a little bit. He's struggling here with the routine cardio to make it through. Gonna score him a 12.6 with a 15.5 start value. Unfortunately, quite a lot of deductions in that routine.
Not enough to get him on the leaderboard, but you know what? Making it through that performance was a good fight.
Here's Josue Hernandez from Mexico. We'll see him on a few events today.
Really important for the athletes to get into the zone, especially on something like pommel horse, where it's such a mental game.
For sure. A lot of them take a moment to focus before all of their routines. There's the Russian travel, legs apart a little bit.
Into that very common Maggio Savato that we've seen in pretty much all of our routines today.
Unfortunately, just taking a few deductions there and a flank to finish off. Good effort from Josue.
Here's that one handle circle connected right into the check here.
Scoring him a 12.3. Not a bad score, although not enough to land him in the top 10. Remember, something else about the top 10 is if you can manage to get into it, you're going to earn yourself points on the global WGA leaderboard. Anyways, up next, Vitam Malik from Australia. We saw him in the Cash Cup 1. I believe he came 5th on Pommel Horse there. It's his best event. Makes good use of repetition there, 2 zones.
Very clean form.
Definitely eliminating all the circles here. Really trying to just go skill after skill with no circles in between. See what he has for the dismount.
Really understanding the rules is what you need to be able to come up in the podium in this sport.
Oh, and he connects a flop into a dismount. That's a huge connection. I believe that'll earn him 3/10 in a bonus there.
Very unique combination.
Take another look at the middle part of his routine. Scoring him a 15.8. Oh, and that's a huge score, but just not quite enough to get him into the top 3.
But he's definitely got points for himself there.
Yeah, start value of 16.9, only 1 point in deductions. And really, if you can get under a point, that's a very clean routine. Lachlan Davis from Australia. Just recently competed at the FISU Games in China.
Taking those moments to ground himself before starting the apparatus. Definitely a longer gymnast. You can see the extension. I find a lot of times these taller gymnasts show very nice lines when the form is great.
Definitely watch how straight his hips are in these circles. That's what the judges are looking for. Unique travel there. A half Russian starting from one handle into the Magyar Savato here. Fortunately, a few leg bends.
He takes those couple extra circles to rebuild his speed.
Dismount coming up. Oh, and he hits the horse.
That's going to be a deduction.
Trying to step on the landing.
He looks a little bit disappointed with that.
I would agree. Looked like in the second half of the routine, it was a bit of a struggle. The routine cardio might not be completely there yet. Still scoring him a 13.0. Not a bad score from Lachlan Davis. Although, as we see with a start value of 15.7, quite a few deductions there.
And many of them in those last couple seconds.
Up next from Finland, Pavel Titov. Pavel's a Pommel specialist. See what he can do. Has a skill named after him too, a travel with a full spindle.
Looking forward to seeing that. Starting off with a full spindle.
There it is.
Ah, clever.
A little bit of leg separation there, but he's working around in the Russians here well.
Really kept the flow. It's nice to see gymnasts be able to save those small nuances of being on balance.
A lot of travels here, bending the legs a little bit, coming up onto the handle, presses up.
Ooh.
You see that pause there. Ideally in those press dismounts, you don't want to pause. You want to flow right up. Take another look at it here. You see, does what's called a spindle here.
A full turn going the opposite direction of the circle.
Gonna score him a 14.8. That's putting him in 9th place. Big start value of 16.8. Unfortunately, had a few deductions there. You see a little arm bend sometimes, little leg separations. All that adds up. And you see that there, last up transition, and it's gonna be a big routine. Here's 2021 world champion and reigning Cash Cup champion Steve Nedorozic.
All right, big things. And even cooler socks.
And not only that, he's been working into the WGA rulebook. You see there, he starts off with what's called a reverse flop. There's the bazoogo. The sewn connects another sewn.
Oh, he's going for it.
Does the same connection that we saw from Joe Fury. This is going to be a tight competition. Going to depend on the second half of this routine.
Beautiful swing, great form, fast circles. Now this is
Mega.
exciting pommel work.
Up into the dismount. Oh, double turn. Upgrades it from last Cash Cup.
And I think we have to agree those socks really top it off.
What do you think, Lucas? Do you think this is a two-time Cash Cup champion?
You know, I'm feeling pretty strong about this one. Let's see what we got.
I agree. I think this might be
And first place.
17.7. A huge score. 7/10 above second and third place.
Quite a margin.
18.3 start value. That's a 10th above Joe Fury. And of course, that's the whole Pommel competition. Steve Nedorozic in first place, taking him $1,000. Joe Fury, 17.0, 400. Ahmad Abu Al-Sad, 265. Lost on tiebreaker rule. An incredible scores all the way down the leaderboard. Abdullah Azimov with a 16.2. Moving on to page 2 here. William Ahmad up top, 14.7. A lot of Canadians on this list.
Definitely a strong showing today in the pommel routines. I'm so impressed with how many submissions on pommel horse alone.
Yeah, Pommel horse having the most submissions of all the events, as seen here on page 3. And that concludes the first event, Pommel horse. We saw Steven Nedorozic win with a huge score of 17.7. We'll be back after the break. And we're back. Stephen Nedorozic just dominated the pommel horse competition with a huge score of 17.7. Next, it's going to be over to the event randomizer to find out what event we have next.
Moving on to the floor exercise, one of my favorite events where we're going to see some high flipping elements and lots of twists.
Reigning champion Misha Kudanov scored a 12.8, but we can expect a lot higher scores this time around. Big competition up on floor. We'll see Misha compete again, see if he can try and retain his title. Alright, just before we begin, moving on to the floor timer, and this is going to be an important player in today's floor competition. So, as you see, gymnasts only have 75 seconds to complete their routine. That's going to land them in the no deduction zone. And if you go above that, 75 to 80 seconds, that's going to get you 3/10 of a deduction. And if you're over that, over 80 seconds, you don't want to be there, that you're in the red, that's a 5/10 deduction. And you see we have colors displaying this all the way. You'll see this graphic up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. When the gymnasts get to 65 seconds, there'll be a little bell warning them. Only 10 seconds left. They gotta finish fast. Up first, Lachlan Ferraro from Australia. Lachlan competed on Pommel horse last Cash Cup. This time he's competing on floor. You see that timer graphic up in the top right-hand corner starting?
Big double front for the first line. A little bit of a large hop that's going to cost him.
Double twist. Those two lines, a double front and a double twist, very common in the WGA.
Introducing those pommel type elements on the floor are a great way to earn points, but also a risky way to lose deductions. This was pretty cleanly done though.
Oh, a little bit of a wobble there. You see how he lowers his legs in the press handstand. That will cost him. Next line, front layout, full front layout.
Getting that connection bonus. Every little point counts.
Simple sideline there, round off back layout.
Really important on a lot of the easier lines that we're going to see today. You don't want to see any landing deductions, or else those are just throwaway points.
And there's a classic display of balance.
Also a great way to rebuild that energy before the last lines.
Double twist. Oh, almost a stuck landing. Managed to keep it within the time limit.
Alright, well the bar's been set on floor. Let's see what that score comes out to be.
See another look at that wobble there in the press handstand. A 12.8. Start value of 14.9. Not a bad routine from Lachlan Ferraro. Remember, last Cash Cup, the winning score was only a 12.8. So he set himself in a good position.
What do you think, Owen? Is this going to hold?
Oh, I don't think so. We have stronger competitors coming up. Here's Aga Kazim Rustamov from Turkey.
Is this one of our only Turkish gymnasts that we're going to see today?
The only Turkish gymnast in the entire competition.
Very cool.
First Turkish gymnast ever in a WGA competition. There's that common line again, the double twist.
Front tuck full for the side pass. Nice and easy, but unfortunately a little bit of a landing deduction with that hop.
Yeah, when you're doing some of the simpler skills, you got to make sure you do them perfectly. Otherwise, you might be better off not doing them at all. A lot of tumbling lines here. We're seeing him do single skills rather than connecting the skills.
There we go. Starting to bring out those connections. Without those connections, there's more landings, and more landings, more chance of deductions.
Same skill we saw from Lachlan Ferraro, called a triple Russian on floor. But watch the timer up there. He's at 50 seconds. He'll have to try and get the rest of this routine in quick.
Nice simple side pass. Again, those landing deductions, really trying to keep them as clean as possible.
Oh, you hear that? He has 10 seconds left to finish. He might not be aware of the time.
Last couple seconds. Taking his time.
And unfortunately, there it is. That means he's going to have a 5/10 overtime deduction.
It's really hard for gymnasts. When you're in the zone, sometimes time just flies by and it's easy to lose track of. But it will cost you.
Take another look at this opening line front double twist. Executes it pretty well, just small steps on the landing. Gonna score him a 12.0. Yeah, you see there with the 14.9 start value, loses some valuable points due to his 5/10 overtime penalty. Lucas, do you think that time is something that gymnasts are taking into consideration, or is it easy to forget in these virtual competitions?
Well, you know what? I think it should be taken into consideration, but it is something that we're seeing quite often, that gymnasts just get too much in the zone, worrying about their gymnastics and trying to rebuild that breath that they need, that they lose track and sometimes taking that little bit of deduction.
Here's reigning floor champion, Misha Kudanov. He'll need to up his score if he's looking to maintain his title.
Nice first line. You'll notice that the timer doesn't start until their first step. So even though they're within bounds of that white lines, the timer doesn't start until that first step is taken.
Starting off with some big front tumbling, a double pike, and then there's the double front.
Misha's doing a great job of limiting those hopping deductions to small 0.1 deductions.
Whip back layout 2.5, small step. So far it's looking like he could go into the lead. Wide arm press handstand there. Called a Japanese handstand.
These strong athletes sure make it look easy, but it's not that easy of a skill. Easy to lose balance, and also really hard to get your head that close to the ground. Take note of that time. We're approaching 1 minute.
Bit of a unique sideline back 1.5 front layout full. Very difficult. And the time is just about to go over. There it is, minute 15. That's a 3/10 deduction. Can he finish in time? Oh, and just about in the red. 5/10 deduction there for overtime as well.
It's a shame to see those deductions happen from simple timing.
He looked quite happy there at the end, maybe unaware of the deduction that he just took. Repeats the same score from the first Cash Cup at 12.8, although loses on tiebreaker rule to Lachlan Ferraro.
Remind me again, Owen, why the tiebreaker?
Well, whatever gymnast submitted their routine first in the Cash Cup goes in front on a tiebreak.
Makes sense. All right.
This way, gymnasts are incentivized to submit their routines earlier. Anyways, Abdullah Azimov from Uzbekistan.
Wow, one of the bigger lines. That was 2 flips and 2 twists, also known in the gymnastics world as the double-double.
Huge tumbler here. Double twist front layout. Maybe out of bounds there, hard to tell. So far, it's looking like he could go into the lead. Double tuck full, and he nails that landing.
Very high tumbling in today's routine.
Double twist stuck.
A relatively simple side pass for him, but done very clean.
There's that common triple Russian we see.
Splits are a great time to just sit down and be able to take in that breath.
Oh, beautiful man, it gets him. And he stands over. You don't see that done often, and that's incredible flexibility.
All right, we're hitting 1 minute. I'm sure we're coming down to the last line or two. Let's see what he's got.
Triple twist. Oh, and almost stuck that landing. Surely that goes into the lead. That's the best routine we've seen so far.
Absolutely.
Look at
Huge
that.
tumbling.
Huge first line.
Oh, and in the Cash Cup, is a slide-in mat on the floor a deduction?
Nope, gymnasts are allowed to have 1 extra mat on each event. And look at that score, 14.6, 2 points higher than the rest of the competitors so far. Gonna be a tough score to beat.
Catapulting him to first.
Here's Connor Fielding from Canada.
Connor's known for very good stuck landing. Let's see if he can do it.
Speaking of which, double tuck stuck. Fun fact about Connor Fielding, he played Manny Heffley in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie.
Wasn't quite able to hold the stick on that one. A small little hop.
Big triple twist there, just a small step to the side.
A nice easy half turn for a non-acrobatic element.
A little bit out of frame there, but looks like a stuck double twist as a sideline. Back 2.5, small hop forward. That's his last line. Managed to stay within time. Take another look at this first line, a huge stick.
Boom, no wobbles at all.
Score of 12.7, gonna put him in 4th place, just a 10th off of the leaderboard there.
He'll be disappointed, I'm sure, to fall a little short of that podium placement, but I know we're going to have some great routines to come.
Speaking of which, here's Felix Dulce from
Dulce,
Canada.
Pro Cup 2.
Very much known for his floor exercise. Great lines, great form, and great landing.
I'd say it might be his best event. We'll also see him on high bar later today, and another one of his specialities.
Front full double pike, beautiful stick. I would call that deductionless. What do you think, Owen?
Yeah, maybe aside from a little bent legs in the double pike. Oh, and he sticks it again in the double-double. Hear the reaction from his teammate there recording.
Felix is going for money.
Could we have another new leader? And just a small hop there. Good so far.
Beautiful floor worker.
Japanese press to handstand there.
Very fluent, no change in direction, and a solid hold at the top.
Good,
Exactly what
breathe.
we're looking for.
Another press to handstand skill here. Incredible strength and flexibility.
Come on.
A little bit of a bigger hop on that one, but that
Allez,
won't really
sick.
phase him with all the other great gymnastics we've seen. Let's see how he finishes up.
Sick.
2.5, front tuck half, another stuck landing.
All right, here we go. We should be just in time for the dismount. With time still on the clock.
Triple twist.
Hey,
Oh, small hop back. But a huge routine from Felix Dulce. I think surely that goes into the lead.
Absolutely. What a great performance and a great introduction to his first Pro Cash Cup.
Believe this is the first line here. Oh, we don't get to see it. But a 14.7. Oh, just a 10th above Abdullah Azimov.
Some high scores. I wonder if Felix is going to be able to hold that lead.
Big start value as well of 16.5. Up next, Riley Luce from the United States. Another great floor worker. We'll see him on some other events as well. We already saw his performance on Pommel horse earlier in the day.
Come on.
Exceptional power. Huge height in that jump.
Big 2.5 to start. And there's the common double front.
Clean landing too. Moving into the third line. Double twist, punch front full.
Earning himself connection bonus there. Triple Russian there.
The nice thing about the connection bonuses is that first skill doesn't take any landing deductions because it's rebounding right into that second.
Huge display of strength there. Maltese valued at an E in the WGA rules, and he's not done. There's what's called a straight launch.
Defying gravity, just floating there in midair, making it look effortless.
Another Japanese press to handstand. Maybe just a bit of a wobble there.
All right.
I imagine his arms are tired after those 3 strength skills.
Oh, Riley Luce is so strong. Who knows? Maybe it's just effortless for him, but he has 10 seconds left to finish.
Big
See if
hurdle.
he can get it done in time. Oh, it's going to be close. Last line here, triple twist.
Just in time.
Well, it's hard to tell, but I think no time penalties for Riley Luce today. Look at that first line, front 2.5. Another clean landing.
Great performance and even more exceptional feat of strength.
And he goes into the lead there with a 14.9, putting him 0.2 ahead of Felix Dulce. That's going to be a difficult score to beat. Anyways, up next, the Hia Sharara. We saw him invent the pike press dismount on Pommel horse. And You may know that he's going to invent another skill somewhere in this routine here. Oh, and there it is, the straddle full, called the Sharara Senior. He makes use of repetition there by doing another double front.
I really like the dramatic smoke from the chalk in the carpet.
Bit of a different setup here, not on a traditional floor, rather a floor strip, which is allowed as long as it's the same length as a normal floor diagonal. Can't go out of bounds.
Two and a half twist, a little bit of big hop. It is tricky with all the back and forth.
A lot of tumbling lines here. Don't think he's at the dismount yet. We might have one more. He's going quite quick though. Double twist. And there it is. And let's take another look at the skill here. The Sharara Senior, valued at a D. You may have seen the Bisgrove 2 in the last Cash Cup, the front straddle half. Anyways, that's going to score him a 12.6, putting him in 7th place.
All right, our second performance by him of the night.
And that's halftime on floor. Riley Luce leads with a score of 14.9. We'll see if anyone can beat him after the break.
So, what's the dealio? Dealio is the easiest way to get local same-day delivery. Big, small, or in between, get your curbside and in-store pickups, online marketplace deals, and other personal items delivered straight to your door. That's the dealio. Download the app today.
And we're back. Riley Luce leads with a 14.9 on floor. Here's Daniel Stoddard of New Zealand.
So we're looking for a 15 or higher to take that first place Cash Cup.
He's a teammate of Misha Kudanov, same gym, TriStar Gymnastics. Timer starts, let's see, first line double pike, almost sticks it.
Real short.
Give Misha Kudanov the quoting there. Front layout went 2.5.
Very hard line.
Big breath now, Dan. Get some air.
Connecting that front
Stay in.
2.5, very impressive. And makes use of the repetition
Well done.
rule by doing another front layout into a double twist there.
A small step out of
Zone.
bounds. I don't know if you saw that. His 1 foot went outside the white line.
When 1 foot goes out, that's a 1/10 of a deduction. Not a big deal, but it does add up.
Make sure you're resting now.
Taking his time in the splits, making sure to catch his breath, giving that energy for the last couple lines.
See if he falls victim to the same problem Misha Kudanov has,
Big deep
going
breath, you gotta
overtime.
commit all the way.
I think it's a possibility. Could be an indicator that this gym just forgot about the time in the recording.
Nice.
Triple twist, a little bit of a stumble on dismount, or on the landing, sorry.
Not a dismount yet. Double
Good,
twist,
Dan.
and he's
Don't
still
rush now,
not
take your
done.
time.
Going into the
Wow.
last line now. Let's see, watch the clock.
2, 1.
There's 3/10 deduction,
Come on.
but he can manage to not get the
Nice.
5/10 at least. Finishes with a 2.5 dismount. He looks happy on that dismount. Happy chappy, as Misha would say. $13.4 for Daniel Stoddard.
Not bad. Just shy of the podium, though. Holding up in 4th place.
Maybe in 4th place, but look at the difference between 3rd and 4th there, over a point. Can expect a big routine here. William Amar from Canada.
Pro Cup 2.
William has been throwing up some huge scores on the floor exercise in recent competitions. Let's see what he's got today.
It's all going to come down to the landings. Taking a moment to focus before this routine.
William is commonly known on social media as a coffee connoisseur, always searching for that perfect cup of coffee.
Nice stuck landing to start off. Small hop backwards there.
Very clean in the air. It's nice to see that he's taking no in-air deductions. Huge power.
Nice.
He keeps his legs quite straight in the second half of that double pike. A lot of gymnasts bend their legs, causes deductions. Double tuck full and a nailed landing.
Even a kick out in the air, showing just that extra flex of air time.
This is shaping up to be a really solid routine. See if he has enough to go into the lead here.
That's about as low as you can get in that wide arm press.
Does the same non-acrobatic skills we saw from Felix Dulce. They do go to the same gym after all.
Come on.
Gonna come down to the landings here on the final tumbling passes. 2.5 front layout and a stick.
Ding.
Going down to the last 10 seconds.
Oh, stuck landing on the triple twist here. The reaction from his teammate. They know he's done a good job.
The Canadians have done great today with staying in that time frame and really focusing on those good landings.
But will it be enough? What do you think? Will he be able to beat Riley Luce? 14.9 is the score to beat.
It's going to be tight.
And here we go.
And he does it.
A 15.2. The first 15 we've ever seen on floor in the WGA Cash Cups.
And that's putting 2 Canadians on the podium.
And look at that, 16.3 start value. It really came down to how clean he was. Oh, but here, huge routine, Milad Karimi from Kazakhstan. Milad Karimi came first on high bar at the 2023 FISU Games.
Just barely stays in bounds.
He's also an excellent worker on floor. Front layout full, double pike. Oh, but he takes a step and goes out of bounds. Huge difficulty there.
Wow, a 2.5 right away connected into a double front.
That's more like it. That might be the best line we've seen on floor so far. Double double. Oh, he's losing a lot of points in the landings here. He's gonna have to keep clean if he wants to stay on the podium.
That's that big trade-off. Difficulty versus execution.
I expect we're gonna see another wide arm press. Yeah, we will. Might just be a touch higher than the Canadians where we saw a second earlier.
We're getting a little bit limited on time. We see that box turns yellow.
He has 5 seconds left. And I don't believe this is the dismount yet. No, it's not. He has one more line. And looks like he's going to go 5 seconds over. There it is. 5/10 deduction. Triple twist. Oh.
Beautiful routine otherwise.
A stuck landing to finish off. But unfortunately, I think some of the landing errors and going overtime is going to cost him. Well, there it is, a 13.9, putting him in 5th place.
You know, I reckon with staying in that time frame and just a little bit cleaner landings, I think he's a real true rival for that first place.
Here's Michael O'Neill from Ireland.
Go, Mike. Go, mate.
Let's go, Mike.
Let's see what we have for that first line.
Run full double front. Oh, I think that was a stuck landing. There might have been a small step there.
Come on now.
Come on, Mike.
Well, a low landing, that's hard to tell. Does his butt touch, do you think?
I think he just about stayed up, but big deductions regardless. Step back there. Big 2.5 front layout there.
Come on now.
Definitely really packing the difficulty in this routine.
Simple back layout sideline, but he takes a small hop on it. Triple Russian here.
This is one of those events that is hard to stay unique on, but when it is unique, it's great to see.
That oh so common double twist there.
Alright, I think we're coming up to the dismount.
Double twist. Oh, looks like we have one more line.
Alright, let's see what we have in store.
Let's go, Mike.
Bit of a unique way to start the run. Turn sideways a bit. Anyways, triple twist.
Nice, man.
Not a bad routine overall. Small hop on the landing there in the dismount.
I think he does that actually to try to wipe the sweat off his feet. Sometimes the floor surfaces can be quite slippery.
For sure, could be. Score of 13.2.
Alright, not a bad routine. Big start value of 16. Just a rough execution.
Putting him in 7th place there. The leaderboard's quite close. And here we have Quentin Foster. Might not be the highest scoring gymnast, but he does have originality. He invented the Quinty off rings in the first Cash Cup. And there's the Bisgrove front straddle. Making good use of some of the new skills that were invented in the first Cash Cup. And speaking of which, there's the Bisgrove 3 back straddle. Might not be as difficult, but I do love to see the creativity that goes into this floor work.
Back extension to handstand with a half turn.
And a straddle jump, that's not something you see every day on floor. Not a skill, but
Originality at its finest.
for sure. Another front layout full. That finishes off the routine.
Very interesting routine. Probably one of the most unique routines we have seen and will see on floor today.
Love to see use of the straddle skill, something that you won't see outside the WGA. Gonna score him an 11.8. With a 13.3 start value, managed to stay fairly clean. Not, of course, not gonna put him on the podium there. Up next, Oscar Coromina Pujol from the United States. And I believe he's starting off with a unique skill here. Yeah, there it is. Front straddle 1.5.
Wow.
Putting an extra half turn on the Sharara Senior, or an extra full turn on the Bisgrove 2.
Seems to be struggling a little bit with the landings today.
Staying quite clean in the air. Good use of straddle skills overall. There was a Bisgrove 2, we call it.
Very clever transition skill. I'm really liking some of the originality we're seeing today.
You know, some people are loving the trends of the Bisgrove. Some say that they want to see all the way up to a Bisgrove 100. It'll be a challenge to get there, though.
A little bit of bike down on that landing, but a strong routine with some good originality.
And look at this new skill, the Coromina Pujol, valued at E. A front straddle with a 1.5 twist. Now, some make the argument that opening the legs for a second isn't enough on those straddled skills. They should have to have a hip bend requirement too. What do you think of that, Lucas?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a little bit of a gray area as these skills evolve, especially when they're trying to add in more twists into those higher level skills. Might something to be considered into the rules.
For sure. Up next, Josue Hernandez from Mexico. Saw him earlier on Pommel horse. Here he is once again on floor. Something about Josue is he says he loves to dance, and that he wishes that men's gymnastics had music on floor.
Ooh.
That would definitely change up the sport, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the other gymnasts agree with them, but who knows? A little bit messy in the air there.
Ideally, the gymnasts land with their chest up. Anytime they don't, that results in a deduction.
Yeah, low landing there, for example. There once again. Also take note of how much he's hiking his hips down. If you're doing a skill In a laid out position, you want to see the body stay straight the entire time. Don't want to see the hips bend. There's the common triple Russian non-acrobatic skill.
As the time kind of ticks on, we're probably seeing about another 1 or 2 lines. Let's see what we got.
Simple back layout line there. Take a look at the time. Into the yellow, he has 10 seconds left to finish. If he hurries, he can do it in time.
5 seconds.
It looks like he's taking time to breathe. Might not be aware of the timer. And looks like he just kept it in the 3/10 range or the orange range.
Looks a little frustrated with that performance. Sometimes at the end of the routines, the facial expression says it all.
Score of 12.3 for Josue Hernandez. Of course, remember he had that 3/10 time penalty.
Williams still holding the lead with Riley in second and Felix in third. Do you think they're going to be shifting off the podium today, Owen?
Oh, I don't know how to tell. I believe this is our last routine up as well. Vitam Malik from Australia.
Nice.
Ooh, scuff landing. Strong start.
That's it. Easy, let's go, come on.
Double twist front layout.
A very clean gymnast across all the events we've seen.
Nice.
That looked like it might have been intended to be a layout position.
There's that common back layout sideline. We saw how excellent Vitam was on Pommel horse, and look at those Russians. Those might be the best Russians we've seen so far. So fast, beautiful extension.
Go, let's go.
Oh my god.
And that's the last line there. Well, don't want to confirm anything just yet, but it looks like William Ahmad, Cash Cup champion.
I'd have to agree with you there. I don't know if that's going to be enough to kick anyone off the podium.
Score of 13.6 for Vitam Malik. That's going to put him in 6th place. A good performance for him, but not enough to crack into that prize money range. And there's the podium. William Ahmad in 1st place with a score of 15.2, earning $1,000. Close behind, Riley Luce, 14.9, $400. Felix Dulce, 2 Canadians on the leaderboard, score of 14.7, $265.
Good showing for the Canadians, that's for sure.
On to page 2. Good scores from all these gymnasts as well, just couldn't quite manage to get themselves in the top 10.
But you know what? At least we did see some awesome originality from a lot of these competitors.
And that concludes floor. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome to Delio, simplified same-day local delivery. Proudly Canadian, we are tech and delivery experts who created a valuable delivery extension for your business. Affordable rates, website integrations, and an on-demand delivery agent network enables you to focus on your core business, reduce cost, and increase sales. Getting started is easy, and requesting and tracking deliveries is even easier. Partner with Delio today and experience the Delio difference.
2 events down and thousands of dollars already handed out. Welcome back to the WGA Cash Cup 2. We just finished floor where we saw William Ahmad win with a score of 15.2. Now it's over to the event randomizer to find out what our third event will be.
Parallel bars, an exciting event.
Misha Kudanov is a current parallel bars champion. See if he can retain that title.
And are we going to be seeing quite a few competitors on the parallel bars today, Owen?
I think we have about just as much as floor. We have 15 or 16. We see the score for Misha Kudanov last Cash Cup was a 15.1, so we roughly know what the score is to be. Anyways, Lauren de Monk from the Netherlands.
What a unique start, facing outwards on the parallel bars.
And he's going to do a unique mount here, too. Each to handstand.
Let's go, Lord.
Making good use of the swinging skills here. That's called the Tapelt.
Tricky skill here. Hanma.
One thing to watch out for on P-Bars is when the gymnasts swing to handstand, you want to see a straight body. You don't want to see them
Nice.
piking.
Go
That's
up.
going to cause deductions.
Now he makes it look effortless, but these subtle nuances of putting your hand down blindly to catch the bar is very difficult.
For sure, you might have seen a fail from one of his teammates, Jermaine, on the McCooks.
Diamidov with a 1.5
Come on, bro, let's go.
twist.
Oh, legs apart.
What a save.
What a save indeed, but maybe could be half a point in deductions there. But oh, he makes up for it with a double front dismount, sticks it cold.
Good routine and strong start to the parallel bar final.
That skill there is called the Tapelt, and just take a look at it there. He floats right up to handstand. Scoring a 15.0, a huge score. Remember, last Cash Cup winning score was a 15.1, so we might be able to see Lauren de Monk on the podium.
Sure seems that way. Let's see what the competition field looks like today.
Here's Misha Kudanov, reigning Cash Cup champion and #1 on the WGA Global Leaderboard.
All right, will he hold his title? What do you think, Owen?
I think he certainly has the chance. We have some other strong competitors coming up later today on P-Bars. But Misha Kudanov certainly dominates the field in Oceania. Starting off with that Hanma. And watch that. So difficult. Peach to a 1-bar handstand.
And again, those super precise one bar catches with the hands.
There's another Peach element. Into what's called a giant Diamidov and a giant. Such a great swinger on P-Bars.
And the grip strength is absolutely incredible.
Ventarmon there on that Makutsu. He manages to hold it together. See if he can keep clean here. Long pause in the handstand. Building into the stuts. Keeps the legs together.
Now, there is no deduction on parallel bars for pausing in handstand, isn't that correct?
That's correct, but something you gotta take into consideration is the energy that could be wasted. All that extra time in a handstand certainly adds up. Double pike dismount. Small hop.
That was a clean routine for sure. He looks to be very happy.
You could say he's happy chappy.
That's right. And fun fact, Misha's not only an athlete, but also a coach and a father, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Must be very busy. Scoring a 15.5 puts him ahead of Lauren de Monk.
Top in his last score. He's really trying to hold on to that first place and reigning title.
Does a more difficult routine than last time with a 17.2. Up next, Abdullah Azimov from Uzbekistan. So far in this Cash Cup, Abdullah has made himself known as one of the cleanest gymnasts in the WGA. Starting off with that common peach handstand and the giant Diamidov, and look at that form.
Very clean.
Perfect. He may not be doing as difficult a skills as we see from some other competitors, but he's managing to stay clean. Oh, and just as I say that, a bit short on that Diamidov. Meant to finish in handstand.
Angles sure matter, especially through all the apparatuses that we'll see today. Nice clean transition in what's called a peach basket.
Dismount double pike. Oh, almost sticks it. Small hop. Very similar to what we saw from Misha Kudinov. Look at this giant diameter up here. Just beautiful form. Kicks out straight into a handstand.
I'd say one of the cleanest in the world.
Yeah. Scoring a 14.8, just behind Lauren DeMonk, putting him in 3rd place. Look at that start value, 15.9 and a score of 14.8. That's a sign of a very clean routine. The only real noticeable error was that Diamidov. Not sure what this is from Connor Fielding there. Looks like that's going to score him a 0.
I don't know what to say with that one, Owen.
Well, I guess better luck next Cash Cup. Here's Ian Gunther on P-Bars.
Now this one's definitely rivaling for that podium spot.
Look at this connection here. Diamidov
Wow.
to 1 bar. Healy out.
Gotta be one of the only people in the world able to do this skill.
For sure. Extremely difficult. And the McCoots. Ian Gunther is a huge start value, but the challenge for him is going to be that execution. You see that he struggles a little bit on the handstand there. And another bit of a pike there on the swing to
You
handstand.
can definitely see the strength coming into play.
A very strong athlete. Good swinging skills here. Just a little bit left until the dismount.
He's keeping it going.
And he does a very unique dismount called a Roethlisberger. Here it is. Oh, and he nails it.
Stuck landing. He
Look-
is happy.
Look at the reaction.
Coach and teammates are also seem very pleased with that.
Almost in disbelief. Another look at that connection there.
That's going to be a tough one. Let's see what he scores.
14-8. Well, he ties with Abdullah Azimov, but loses on the tiebreaker rule. And look at that start value of 17-1. That's huge. Well, here's Canadian Rene Cornier. Saw him compete in Cash Cup 1, where he took the title on high bar. Haven't seen his work on P-bars yet in a Cash Cup. See what he can do.
Rene is known to be a very clean and technical gymnast. Hopefully he can stick with that on parallel bars.
Great strength in that mounting skill there. Peach to handstand. And a peach half, very difficult. Rene was a part of the 2nd place team at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, and he's an Olympian at the 2021 Olympics.
Very clean as he keeps on going through these skills one by one. That's what the gymnasts always try to remind themselves. One skill at a time.
Puts their legs apart just a little bit. Might be building to the dismount here. Double front. Small step back. Good routine from Rene. What do you think? Does he have a shot at the podium with that?
I think it's going to be tight. I don't think it's going to touch the 1st place, but we might be able to see him 3rd, 4th. Let's see what the score shows.
Oh, well, a 14.7. Look at how tight that is at the top there.
Oof.
Separating 5th and 2nd place, only 3/10. Misha Kudinov still leads comfortably with a 15.5. He is going to be hard to touch on this event.
But if there's someone who can do
Felix
it, it's going to be this next
Pro
competitor.
Cup 2.
Felix Dulce, strong competitor for sure.
Let's go, Felix. Come on.
Trying to get in the zone.
Common mount here.
Almost rolled backwards on that basket.
Yeah. Oda Hanma gets it up to handstand well. Beautiful Healy. Swing to handstand there with straight body.
Peach with a half turn. Nice straight arms, clean form throughout. A little bit of an extra step there.
A good diverse routine. We see lots of different skills. There's the front straddle to upper arm. Great swinging skills. Wonderful display of strength. Should be building into the dismount here. We'll see what he can do. Double front half, and he
Oh.
nails it.
Absolutely sticks that land.
Such a difficult dismount as well. Unbelievable that he has the stamina to do a dismount that beautiful at the end of a routine.
I don't know if you saw as he walked away from the event, he looked down at his hand. Hopefully he didn't tear his hands.
14.8, that's going to put him just outside of the leaderboard. Loses in a three-way tiebreaker with Abdullah Azimov and Ian Gunther.
Those technicalities really do come into play.
And that's halftime on P-Bar as Misha Kudanov leads. We'll be back after the break. As we settle out of halftime, New Zealand's Misha Kudanov leads with a score of 15.5. Up next, we have Luke Marsh from Great Britain. Luke Marsh's teammates tried to record a P-bar routine as well, although he unfortunately had a pretty bad fail on that skill right there, called a Healy.
So far, this has been quite a clean routine.
Come on.
A little bit of bent arms as he went through the handstand in that beach.
Beautiful skill there, giant Diamidov. And there's the regular Diamidov.
Pretty quick, skill after skill.
Should be building into the dismount here. Gonna come down to this landing. Oh, steps back. Unfortunate. There's that beautiful skill called a pelt. Giving him a 14.4. Unfortunately, putting him down in 7th place. But he's still quite young. Room to improve in the future.
All right, let's see who we have up next.
And it will be a big routine. William Ahmad from Canada.
It's important to keep in mind that when these gymnasts are doing these routines, there's so many skills back to back, and not one of them is easy. Lots of cardio, lots of focus, lots of energy. Definitely a huge reason why gymnasts are one of the top athletes in the world.
Quick adjustment of the bars there before he began. Got to make sure that the P-bars are the right width.
Every millimeter counts when you're doing those precise hand placements. A unique mount from the side of the parallel bars, using one rail to catapult himself up to handstand.
Same one we saw from Ian Gunther. Nice Hanma there. Little bent legs.
Nice strong Healy, just like we saw from his teammate Felix earlier on.
Small hand adjustment there. Going quite well so far. Managed to stay clean. Look at that skill. Very beautiful. Giant with a back tuck half to upper arm. Takes so much strength in the chest to be able to hold that upper arm position and skills like that.
2 release moves in one routine. That's impressive.
Something that you don't see too much more anymore. Dismount here, double front. Looked a little jarring on the back, and yeah, you can tell. Hurts a little bit.
That's a tough landing.
Better hope he's okay. Anyways, let's look at the skill again here. little leg bend, little hip bend. All of those deductions add up. Gonna give him a 14.5, putting him in 7th place, just ahead of Luke Marsh. Big start value of 16.4, unfortunately had a few deductions there. And expect a big routine here. Here's Jermaine Grunberg from the Netherlands.
All right.
Kom op.
Very common. We've seen quite a few of these Hanmas recently.
Legs out just a little bit. He should have a big lineup of skills coming
Kom op,
up.
jongen.
Let's see what he can do. Peach with the half turn keeps his legs glued together. And another Peach.
Right into another giant Damodoff. We've seen 3 or 4 of these today.
Yeah, but I think that Jermaine might do it the best of all of them. There's the Makuts.
Right into Healy.
Kom op, jongen.
Been such a strong routine so far.
Oh, a little bit off
A
balance.
small adjustment there, building into the dismount. I think he could contend for a spot on the podium here. Double front half, small step backwards. But that's a beautiful routine from Jermaine. Such a strong competitor on this event.
Lots of packed-in difficulty. Definitely world-class athlete.
And a 15.6, that puts him a 10th above Misha Kudanov. What an incredible score.
16.9 start value. One of the highest start values that we've seen today.
And not only that, he managed to keep clean. That's what puts him in the lead. But anyways, here's Milad Karimi.
Are we going to be seeing any original skills today on the parallel bar zone?
I don't think so, but we'll have to find out. Milad Karimi, 2020 Olympian and finalist on the high bar. We'll see him later today on high bar as well. A taller athlete makes some of the swinging skills on P-bars a bit more difficult, but somehow he still manages to do them beautifully.
Very nice lines.
Oh, huge bavs out there. Believe that's the first one we've seen so far in the Cash Cup.
You can see the whole parallel bar frame moving as taller athletes utilize that bounce of the bars.
A testament to how much power he's putting into these skills.
I don't know if you can see on that left post there, one of the handles looks to be almost loose. Hopefully that doesn't come into play.
True. And on the right side as well, looks like the bars might not be fully adjusted. Coming into the last skill here, dismount double front half, and he nails that landing.
Wow. Beautiful routine.
Take another look at this dismount here. Look at how high he gets in the front uprise. Spots the landing, and beautiful stick. Scoring a 15.4, putting him in 3rd place. Look at how close it is at the top there. 15.6, 5, and 4.
It really just comes down to those little small tenths, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you look at the leg bends here and there. Anyways, Josue Hernandez, 3rd event we've seen him on. Looks like he's going to be starting off with a peach mount. Big build up here.
On top of having great grip strength, the gymnasts have their own unique combination of chalk, honey, water, and other syrups to try to make those bars extra sticky.
All of it helps with these swinging skills we see there, like that peach to support. Pike press to handstand. Takes a lot of strength. There's the Healy. And another Healy, beautiful connection, and a third one to upper arm into the straddle cut. That was incredible. That's just the kind of thing that you're only going to see in the WGA. Into the dismount double pike.
Okay, a clean routine, good repetition in the field.
Well, I love the originality, but I don't know if he quite has the difficulty or the execution to make it into the top 3.
I don't think so, but I do think we're going to be seeing him in the top 10 on that leaderboard.
13.2 from Josue.
Not quite enough to make it onto that leaderboard.
Unfortunately, a bit of a low start value, but I must say that triple Healy sequence he does in the middle of the routine, one of the most beautiful things we've ever seen.
Cash Cup.
Last up, Ashton Kotler,
Also known as the push-up king.
representing Canada. He came 3rd in the Cash Cup on P-bars. last time. We'll see what he can do. Each to handstand, manages to keep his arms quite straight.
So far, so good.
Here's that Hanma, and oh, it's a struggle. That's gonna cost him. And when the competition is so close, I think just one error like that is enough to put him off the podium. And oh, it's a struggle there too, a bit late on that Diamidov.
You really have to be on your game to compete with some of these scores.
Finishing up there with a clean double pike.
Yep, time bleed.
Time to bleed, his catchphrase.
There's that struggle again. That's really what costed him the routine there. See what he scores. 13.3, and you see that last up transition. That means the scores are locked in.
So it's official. We have a new parallel bar champion.
Dethroning Misha Kudanov. And as you see there, it's official. Jermaine Grunberg, 15.6, earning him $1,000. Just right behind Misha Kudanov, 15.5. And in third place, Milad Karimi, 15.4.
Some great parallel bars today.
Something I noticed, Lauren DeMonk, 15.0. If it wasn't for that one error where his legs came apart, he could have managed to get himself on the podium. And of course, Connor Fielding with the 0. Maybe we can see a better score next Cash Cup. But that concludes P-Bars. 3 events down, 3 more to go, and thousands of dollars to be given out. We'll be back after a message from our sponsors.
So, what's the dealio? Dealio is the easiest way to get local same-day delivery. Big, small, or in between, get your curbside and in-store pickups, online marketplace deals, and other personal items delivered straight to your door. That's the dealio. Download the app today.
And we're back. We just saw Jermaine with the new champion on the parallel bars, winning himself $1,000. As we move on, we're going to go over to the event randomizer and see what event is up next.
Here it goes. Only a few events left.
What are we going to have here? Ooh, the rings. A solid apparatus showing amazing feats of strength.
Reigning champion Ian Gunther will see him compete again today.
I love watching the gymnasts on rings as they defy gravity, moving through positions like it's effortless.
The strength on rings is truly otherworldly. First up, Misha Kudanov from New Zealand. Came third on rings last Cash Cup, but with a stronger field, he's going to have to up his game if he wants to maintain that title.
We see really two kind of components to rings. We see the swings and we see the strength. The swings really limits an athlete to a certain box, but adding in those strength elements is really kind of what makes the difference.
Speaking of swing elements, we see that oh-so-common combination there called a Yonason and a Yamawaki when those gymnasts do the double fronts on the rings.
As we can tell from this performance so far, that Misha is more of a swinging athlete as opposed to the solid strength athlete.
Swinging giant to the double, big dismount. Harder dismount than he did last Cash Cup. Small step forwards, but a good routine from him.
All right, let's see if he can top his first Cash Cup score.
Scored a 14.2 last Cash Cup on rings. Take another look at there. That's the Jonassen into the Yamawaki. And remember, you get connection bonus in the WGA for certain swinging skills.
And he did it. Moving up by 0.3 to a 14.5.
With a bigger start value, starting out with a 15.5, it's no wonder how you can score higher.
But as you mentioned, Owen, the competition today is looking a little bit stronger, so I don't know if that 14.5 will be enough to hold that title.
Here's Gavin Doherty from the United States. A younger gymnast, still only a junior.
That doesn't seem to be limiting in his strength, though.
Oh, but that hold might have been a bit short and he's struggling into the cross. But truly incredible that he can do these strength holds at such a young age.
Moving into the swing element. Oh, a swing to strength. Onma to prop.
Such a difficult element. We see his legs bend a little bit.
Now, as we move later on into the routine, we start to see a little bit, the connection bonus, double Yamawaki. But the swing elements tend to be near the end of the routines as less strength is required. And a little bit more technique.
Struggles a little bit with the press to handstand. He has a big start value, but he's struggling a bit with the execution. All of these deductions will add up as the teammates cheer on into the dismount. Simpler double back tuck, but he manages to land well. Take another look at this opening skill. You want to see the gymnast pause and hold a perfectly flat position. He doesn't quite hold it long enough there. Score of 12.7. With a big start value of 15.7. Believe that was even higher than Misha Kudanov. Unfortunately, all those deductions do add up.
But with being so young, he's got years to come, and I'm sure we'll see him again.
Next up from Uzbekistan, we have Abdullah Azimov. He's known for his impeccable form and perfect gymnastics. Although somewhere where he struggles a bit more is with the difficulty. He'll need to put up some high-valued skills if he wants to manage to get onto the podium.
Nice big swing. Beautifully level straddle launch.
And lowering into a straddle set, skill that requires a lot of flexibility, pressing back up into another straddle planche.
Questionably held long enough. That might have been a little bit short.
Nice swinging skills called giants.
Really important that the gymnast hits from handstand to handstand without any wobble.
There's that Yamawaki into the Jonassen. Does it very smoothly.
That might be a combination we'll see on all the rings routine.
They come down to the landing here. Double tuck full. Oh, small steps back.
A little bit straight legs in the landing. Could have been dangerous.
Another look at that first skill there. See how he's completely flat. That's what you want to see.
Now, for all you viewers watching at home thinking, you know what, that doesn't look that hard. Just try a position like that on the floor and you'll be blown away by the strength that some of these athletes show.
In other news, scoring a 14.2, 3/10 below Misha Kudanov, putting him in second place. Here's Sam Dick, Misha Kudanov's teammate from New Zealand.
You notice when the athletes start this event, they get what's called an over grip. That's where their grip reaches up and over top of the rings, making some of these strength elements a little bit easier.
And he has big strength skills indeed. Look at that. Called a Maltese there. And then he does another one, a kip to Maltese. Such a strong gymnast. Into another iron cross.
That was about 9 seconds straight of just pure strength.
Let's see what he can do for swinging skills here. Yamawaki repeats it again. Another Yamawaki and a backup by straddle planche. But oh, he's a bit low and might not have held it long enough. Look at these strength skills. Such high difficulty, but you can tell that he's getting tired.
It's important to remember that the strength skill doesn't actually start timing until the position is held in a solid position.
Struggles a bit with the handstand there. Another back giant. Should be building into the dismount here. Double tuck full. Small step forwards. Not a bad routine from Sam. And I think that's going to go into the lead. All those strength skills, huge difficulty.
I agree. Beautiful alignment on those Maltese elements.
And
Ooh.
indeed he does, a 15.2. And look at that start value, by far the highest we've seen so far, 16.6.
And the first 15 we've seen on this apparatus.
A full 7/10 ahead of Misha Kudanov. And here, reigning Cash Cup champion Ian Gunther.
Sounds like some pretty supportive teammates cheering him on. Let's see what he's got to show.
Come on, Ian.
Back up guys, Maltese. Such strength. And a kept Maltese.
Remember, Ian does these skills on the floor apparatus. So it's definitely that we're going to be seeing quite a few of these on the rink as well.
And look at those swinging skills. Very unique, that laid out skill to support. And a back up by straight planche. His strength is incredible.
Breathe.
He isn't the reigning champion on rings for nothing. And look at those more beautiful swinging elements. Something unique about Ian is he's so great at both the strength and the swinging skills. Double layout full.
Clean dismount, just a small little hop, but you know what? I think that might be enough. What do you think, Owen?
I think he might be able to, if not go into the lead, at least get in the top 3 there. Score from the first Cash Cup was a 15.1 on rings, and he gets the same score again, just a 10th behind Sam.
I'm sure he's pretty happy with that performance, but that 1/10, all it came down to was that dismount.
Has to sting a little bit. Noah Doiron, the United States.
This is the first that we've seen of Noah in the competition.
One of his hobbies is hiking. Jumps up to the rings by himself. Certainly unique. Normally, coach needs to lift the gymnast up. And similar to what we saw from the other American junior, Gavin, he seems to struggle a little bit with that Maltese. Sometimes that strength takes a bit of time to come in.
I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed with these short holds in the strength elements. The judge is always looking for a solid 2 seconds in order for the skill to even get credit.
Some good swinging skills here. Double tuck full. Pretty good landing from Noah. Don't think it's going to be enough to get him on the podium, though. But once again, very young gymnast. Lots of time and room to improve. Look at that cross there. 13.2, that's going to put him in 5th place. Pretty big start value as well, a 15.4. But a few too many deductions, unfortunately, takes him off the podium. Nate Cornier from Canada. Saw him earlier on the parallel bars and pommel horse.
Now, Rene is known for his rinks. Very clean athlete and oftentimes making finals at the international level.
I believe he came 2nd on rings last Cash Cup. Back up rise to straight planche and a Maltese. Now those are some beautiful positions. Ooh, and look at that strength skill. An inverted cross, so difficult, but he couldn't quite manage to get it flat. And look at that triple swinging combination. Yamawaki, Jonassen. Huge bonuses there.
Now this is a little bit tricky. Notice he's got some swing on the rings. The gymnasts don't want swing, but he used his downswing in that front giant to try to station himself right back underneath that frame.
Building into the dismount here, double tuck. Huge dismount. Last Cash Cup, we only saw him do a double layout, so he's upped his dismount game.
Now with that, are we going to see an up score? That's the question.
I believe he could score a few tenths higher than last time. And a 15.1, tying Ian Gunther, but because he submitted his routine later, of course, that means he's going to go into 3rd place.
Now, if that's not incentive to submit your routines early, I don't know what is.
Last Cash Cup, he scored a 14.9, so a little improvement there.
Felix Dulce, Pro Cup 2.
Felix Dulce from Canada. Seeing him compete on all 6 events today. Rings is one of the events where he really shines.
Felix was even a youth medalist at the Youth Olympic Games on this apparatus.
Well, he's done quite good in junior competitions. He managed to win rings at the 2019 Junior World Championships, and he even came second on floor there as well. Kept Maltese, and look at that, completely flat.
Good boy. Squeeze, 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 squeeze.
Now he holds this position for a long time, making sure that timing in his swing is just perfect.
Should see him build into some swinging skills here. There's the front giant. Jonas and Yamawaki back up rise into a straddle set there. Does those swinging skills beautifully.
Allez, Dossi.
Double, small hop forwards. Solid landing and a good routine overall from Felix.
Very clean routine. That one looks like it might rival the top 3 position.
Over to the live replay. Look at how flat he is in these strength skills. Something that we just don't see from some of the other gymnasts. Oh, 15.3, putting him into the lead.
Wow. Now that's going to be a hard score to beat. It's not too often that we have 4 scores above 15.
Start value of 16.3. And that's halftime. Felix Dulce leads with a score of 15.3. Find out if anyone can challenge him after a short message from our sponsors.
Welcome to Delio, simplified same-day local delivery. Proudly Canadian, we are tech and delivery experts who created a valuable delivery extension for your business. Affordable rates, website integrations, and an on-demand delivery agent network enables you to focus on your core business, reduce cost, and increase sales. Getting started is easy, and requesting and tracking deliveries is even easier. Partner with Delio today and experience the Delio difference.
Welcome back to Rings. Felix Dulce leads with a score of 15.3, and here is Riley Luce from the United States.
Let's see if Riley has enough to take over that leaderboard.
Exceptionally strong gymnast, excels at planche style skills. There's Maltese, and he progresses up to a planche and repeats the Maltese again.
I'd call that impressive.
I'd say so too. Back up by straddle set. Bit of an easier skill there. And another Maltese.
A little bit of a struggle there. Maybe not quite a solid hold.
Will be a little deduction there for sure. Into another planche. The strength shown so far is truly incredible. Another planche there. Just count the strength skills. Should be close to the end of the routine here.
Riley.
Double. Oh, a stuck landing from Riley Luce, and the smile there tells it all. He knows he's done a good job.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be happy with that performance. But will it be enough?
Look at those strength skills, something that most gymnasts can't do.
It is.
A 15.8 for Riley Luce.
Wow. And that's definitely going to be the score to beat. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to challenge that today.
It really all came down to that dismount there. 16.7 start value.
William Amard, Pro Cup 2.
But here we go. Next up on rings, William Amard, representing Canada. Also a very strong competitor on this apparatus.
Let's go. Come on, Grizzly. Let's see it.
There's that coach lifting him up to get that strong overgrip on the apparatus.
Let's see what he starts off with. Back up by straight
What?
launch.
Very
Très
solid.
bien, Will.
Lowering to the
Way.
Maltese seems to be good at the same
Good
skills we
boy.
just saw from Riley Luce. And another Maltese.
Very clean lines shown by William.
C'est ça, Will.
Nearly perfect so
Allez.
far.
Now this
What?
apparatus is actually
Good
called
boy.
still rings, and
Come
William's doing
on.
a great job of trying to keep that swing to a minimum.
Yamawaki Yonason. Back up by straddle set.
Very good,
Seen
buddy.
a lot of
Come on.
back up by straddle sets in this competition so far.
Allez, Will.
This might be one of the best executed ring routines we've seen so far.
Gonna come down to the dismount here. Double tuck. Small step back. Not quite the
Very
stuck
good boy.
landing we saw from Riley Luce, but still a great routine overall.
Now, is that D score going to be high enough? Is there enough difficulty for him to break into the podium?
Hard to tell. We'll find out here in just a second. Oh,
Oh,
a 15.7. That's gonna put him 1/10 below Riley Luce.
you know, I think he's still going to be pretty happy with that, though. That was a solid performance from William.
After all, he's already a Cash Cup champion on floor. Anyways, here's Quentin Foster, inventor of the Quinty. Find out if we see another new skill from him here. You follow our social media, as you've seen that he's given us a nice tutorial on how to do your Quinty properly.
Quentin is definitely the master of originality so far in this Cash Cup.
Certainly an iconic character.
Some transitions you never think of.
Yeah, simple routine here. And coming into the dismount in the second here. Check it out. Back straddle half there, and he sticks the landing. There it is, the 22.
Making its debut with the locked-in athletics skill sponsor.
There it is. Take a look in slow-mo.
A C value, so 3/10 added to his difficulty score from his own skill.
Maybe another tutorial is in order for the 22.
I'm looking forward to the Quinty 3, 4, and more. I'm sure to come in future Cash Cups.
Maybe there can be a straddle full. Who knows? Anyways, Kenji Tamain from Canada.
And this will be his first routine, making his debut for the Cash Cup.
Rings is the best event. Very strong. See what he can do. Starts off nice with the back up rise Maltese. Little arm bend.
A little bit high on that inverted cross, but he's definitely holding the position.
You know, it's something we see quite a lot. Gymnasts do that strength skill. Extremely difficult, highly valued, but then they take a lot of deductions on it. And sometimes it might just not be worth it at all. There's that iconic iron cross. Gets completely flat on it.
Jonas and Yamawaki showing a little bit of support as he passes through those positions.
A little bit slow. Costs him some tenths.
Alright, we're going to be coming up to the dismount here.
Oh, he needs to use strength to save that position. Double tuck.
Whoa.
Low chest on that landing.
Alright, he made it through, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him into that podium position.
See the reaction there at the end. Didn't look too pleased with himself. Take a look at that backup rise inverted cross there. 13.9 for Kenji Tamain. Puts them in 9th place.
Although he had the start value, the execution just wasn't there on this routine today.
He definitely does have the start value. That's just as high as we saw from Riley Luce, William Amard. Josue Hernandez, we've seen some incredible originality from him earlier today.
Venga, Jos.
See what he can do on the rings.
It really comes down to a lot of the time, have they read the rules?
Josue certainly has. We'll see what he can do with them.
Starting off with that back uprise to the iron cross position, immediately into that front uprise to L-sit. Definitely some interesting videography.
Good swinging skills there. Makes use of all three of them. Bent arms on that press handstand. Might be lacking a little bit in strength compared to other gymnasts. Double tuck full. Oh, and a stuck landing. Good job from Josui. Mustered the best routine he could there.
He'll definitely be happy with that finish. A strong routine. Although it's not going to put him in contention, it's a solid score.
10th place for Josui with a score of 13.8.
Now we'll see if he's able to hold his top 10 spot on the leaderboard.
Few gymnasts to come. Marco Laudadio, world medalist on the still rings.
Alright, I'm expecting a big performance from him.
His strength is immaculate, but one area that's it's going to come down to for him will be the swinging skills and the dismount. Look at that. Pulls straight up through an iron cross, called a Baladin, into an Azarian Maltese. Like I said, you can tell the strength. He's just above the other gymnasts in that regard.
Sometimes these skills really make you question if gravity exists, the way they make it look so effortless.
And there's those swinging skills we talked about. Just a little bit of form breaks in there. Look at that perfectly flat cross.
He doesn't even seem to be phased by these skills, using them as almost a relaxation position.
He does look relaxed in that cross there.
Now this is where it comes down to it, that muscular endurance as he nears the end of his routine.
Here's the dismount. Double tuck. Oh, and it might all come down to that. The big step on the dismount.
Look at that Baladin. So impressive. From a still hang position, pulling all the way up with arms straight to the side.
Iron cross is exceptionally difficult in itself. He makes it harder, scoring a 15.5, putting him in 3rd place. Like we said, it all came down to that dismount. Had it been a stick like we saw from Riley Luce, well, he would have been a Cash Cup champion. Last up, Alex Diab from the United States. See, his knee there has been suffering from some injuries recently.
I wonder if that's going to affect him as he moves into that ring dismount.
Might need to do a simpler dismount.
Seems to be that he's opting in for the platform rather than the coach to get onto the apparatus. Nice and slow as he moves into what's called an Azarian, which is a backwards roll up that Maltese position.
He's a 2 times rings champion in the NCAA, but we'll see how he fares in the pro competitions. There's that back up by his inverted cross. You know, and I think that's the lowest one we've seen so far.
I agree with you there.
Might be worth it when you're as strong as Alex Diab.
Into a planche position, a little bit low in a planche. Almost halfway between the Maltese and planche position.
There's the iron cross. Shorter gymnasts like him can really excel on the rings.
Moving on to the dismount, let's see what he does with the knee.
Ooh, a little bit of a struggle on that back giant there. Double layout.
Doesn't seem to be phasing him too much. That's quite a hard dismount.
Unfortunately, he pikes the hips a little bit. And just a small hop on the landing, but an incredible routine overall from Alex Diab. See where that lands him on the leaderboard. It's going to be a 15.1. Unfortunately, just doesn't quite make it. Look at that tiebreaker rule there, Lucas, putting him 2 spots lower than he could have been.
Yeah, it's important. You got to be on those routine submissions.
And that confirms our leaderboard. Riley Luce, $1,000 with a score of 15.8, the new Cash Cup champion. William Amard taking home even more money, $400. and Marco Ladanio, 15.5, 265. And such tight competition from the rest of the scores down the leaderboard. Moving on to page 2 here, not bad scores from the rest of the field as well.
Don't forget, we also saw that brand new Quinty 2 on rings.
Tutorial hopefully coming soon. But that concludes rings. We'll be back after a short message from our sponsors.
So, what's the dealio? Dealio is the easiest way to get local same-day delivery. Big, small, or in between, get your curbside and in-store pickups, online marketplace deals, and other personal items delivered straight to your door. That's the dealio. Download the app today.
And we're back after a strong performance on rings this last apparatus. Now we're going to go over to our event randomizer to see what event we're going to have next. With only 2 apparatuses, we're either going to be looking at doing high bar or vault.
And here we go, let's find out. And that's going to be high bar. And that means that last up, we're going to have vault. Reigning high bar champion Rene Cornier. We're going to see him compete again later today. Last Cash Cup, Rene scored a 14.8, so that's going to be a good benchmark if you're looking to get onto the podium. First up on high bar, Carlo Macchini from Italy.
High bar is such an exciting event because we see so many release moves where the athletes let go and catch back on, oftentimes doing flips and tricks over top of the high bar.
Double fun with a half turn, catches back on. Carlo's exceptional on this event. He's called the beefsteak. Interesting nickname.
Some heavy catches there in the reverse. Nice. A Coleman, a 1.5 backflips with full twist over top of the high bar.
Moving into some of the turning elements here. And the one-arm swings on high bar, very exciting.
Very impressive.
And this is shaping up to be a world-class routine right here. I think he could find himself on the podium if he can keep this up. Let's see what the beefsteak can do on the landing here. Moving into his last few skills.
This is where energy matters. We're going to pull over the bar super fast. Let
There
go.
it is.
Double layout with a full twist. And he sticks the landing.
With a small arm wobble to keep it under control. Well, Carlo's a World Cup champion. And he came second on high bar in the European Championships just this year. So it's certainly a world-class performance for him. A 14.9, that's a huge score.
Massive start value with a 17.1. That's going to be one of the higher start values of the day as well.
A reigning high bar champion, Rene Cornier, we'll see him up later today. Here's Misha Kudanov. Came third on high bar in the Cash Cup 1.
If it's anything like Misha's other apparatuses, I'm sure he's adding in some improvements here and keeping it nice and clean to get his couple tenths higher.
Yes, huge release moves. We're going to see the same starting element we saw from Carlo Macchini, called a peg-in, the double front over the high bar with a half turn. Here it comes. Oh, and he catches beautifully.
That was impeccable.
Cassina.
Everything he's doing is with such purpose and intent.
That skill is called the Coleman, the tucked version of the Cassina, building into some of the simpler release moves, although they're still so exceptionally hard.
Very clean. He really hasn't had to break form much.
No one makes use of release moves as well as Misha does. Although, unfortunately, some of the rest of the skills in the routine a little bit simpler for him.
2 one-arm elements. He does a backwards giant with one arm, as well as the Zuliman, which is a 4 giant with a full turn on the way down and up.
Comes down to the dismount, double layout full. Oh, just a small hop.
He is happy with that routine. I think that's going to be an improvement on his first one.
Woo. Listen to that yell. He's happy chappy. There's the casino. That's going to give him a 14.2. Unfortunately, just a little bit behind Carlo McKinney. Huge start value of 16.6. Just a little bit messy here and there. Anyways, up next, Abdullah Azimov from Uzbekistan on high bar.
I'll be curious to see what kind of skills come out of the Uzbekistan gymnast. Good amplitude, a slightly too hollow position as he goes over top of that high bar, looking for a perfectly straight body.
There's the Zuliman, the turn on the one arm.
Impressive shoulder flexibility.
There's those dorsal position giants. Looks so hard on the shoulders.
Called a stoop shoot or an Adler, where the gymnast pikes through between his hands and dislocates his shoulder.
Coming into the dismount here, double layout full. Has to pike down a little bit, but a stuck landing. Good job from Abdullah Azimov. Simpler routine, but he executes it well.
All right, as the scores come in, let's see what he ends up with.
And well, that's going to be a 13.5. Pretty clean routine from Abdullah Azimov. Unfortunately, just didn't have some of those high-flying release moves unlike the top 2 competitors. Up next, Rene Cornier from Canada. Reigning champion from the Cash Cup 1.
And knowing Rene, it's going to be a consistent performance. He's all about cleanliness.
Allez, let's go. Allez, come on. Go.
Stoop half into that layout to catch a big connection there. And he's not done. Look at these Tkachev elements. So clean. And doesn't he really just explode off the bars? So much height in those release moves.
Extension, précis. Tac, tac, oui, facile.
Oh, but legs come apart there.
That will cost.
Here's another one. Yamawaki.
Cool.
He was able to maintain that straight body position that we're looking for.
There's the staller going into the dismount. Last time he struggled on the dismount, he took a big step. What can he do here? Oh, and once again, step on the landing. You know, and I think it's all going to come down to the dismount. I think his spot on the podium might be stolen by those landing deductions. And there it is, 14.4. He still managed to put himself in second place. Not bad, but the challenge will be to see if he can hold that spot.
We do have some strong high bar competitors coming up, so it's going to be tough.
Speaking of which, here's Felix Dulce, also from Canada.
One of the best
Felix
high bar
Dulce,
workers.
Pro Cup 2.
Definitely throwing up some big difficulty scores. Typically a clean gymnast on this apparatus as well.
Allez, Felix.
Something unique about Felix is he does some of the turning and in-bar elements before his release moves. You'd think such exhausting elements you'd want to do them at the start, but he has unique routine composition.
Oh, yeah.
Very good angles on a lot of these release or these stoop elements.
There's the first release move, and it's a big one. It's a casino. He keeps his legs together. They're very clean. Not done yet. There's the Kovacs.
Come on. Good.
Nice catch on that layout to Tkachev.
And he's going to do it again in the straddle here. Oh, barely catches onto the bar. Going to come down to the landing. Double twisting, double layout, and a stuck landing. Beautiful routine from Felix. barely even gets a reaction. Just another day in the office for Felix.
Some high flying release moves. The bend on the bar is unreal.
14.7 for Felix Dulce, gonna put him in second place. Huge start value of 16.6. Managed to keep quite clean.
He'll definitely be happy. Let's see if he can hold on to that podium finish.
And that's halftime on high bar. Carlo McKinney leads with a score of 14-9. Find out if anyone can challenge him after the break. Back on high bar, Carlo McKinney leads with a score of 14.9.
Mamard, Pro Cup 2.
Heard his teammate announced there. Here's William Mamard from Canada, teammate of Felix Dulce, the routine that we just saw on high bar. We expect to see some more high-flying release moves from this gymnast.
All right, let's see what William unpacks on the high bar today. Nice, clean Yamawaki. William's a nice clean gymnast in all his lines.
Nice.
Nice turning skills here to start off the routine. And he's now going to build into the big releases. Get ready for this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good, Will.
Maybe piked, maybe laid out Kovacs. It's hard to tell. Puck Kovacs.
Nice.
That one was done well.
Very high. Lots of time to see the bar, making that
Let's go,
perfect
Will.
touch.
Toes down. Oh, money.
Double twisting, double layout. Small step back. But a good routine from Will.
Very quick routine. A little bit lower in difficulty than what we saw from teammate Felix, but great execution. But will it be enough?
That's certainly the question. And it looks like not quite. A score of 14.0 from Will.
Oh, that's all right. I think he looked quite happy with that performance, and with a little bit added difficulty, I'm sure he'll be in podium contention.
Already taking him a lot of cash on other events. Here's Jermaine Grunberg. Just saw him become the P-Bar's Cash Cup champion a few events earlier. Also strong on high bar. See what he can do here. Starting off with a stoop full. Stoop half. And he connects it into a Coleman.
Wow, what a last minute catch holding on to that bar.
He barely made it back to the bar. There's the Kovacs and a huge high flying release.
And you gotta remember, as you're flying over the bar, you're 15 feet above the ground. You only have a split second to be able to spot the apparatus and catch back up. Absolutely death-defying.
Some nice flexibility skills here coming into the dismount. See what he can do. Double.
Oh,
just a few steps forward. But it's such a good routine from Jermaine, and he's already a Cash Cup champion. Not sure if you'll make it onto the podium there. Had a few form breaks here and there. We'll see. 14.1, just out of the podium. Huge difficulty with a 16.6.
I can't believe how close that one catch was. Incredible.
And here, Noah Kuavita from Belgium. And you may know Noah Kuavita as the triple pike guy. He's going to do the biggest dismount you've ever seen, so get ready for it.
One of my favorite things about the horizontal bar is that you're always on the edge of your seat, never knowing what's next.
He has some huge releases to start off. Casina.
Really working the bar, getting the absolute maximum potential out of that rail.
And that was such an incredible straight Kovacs. And speaking of it, there's the straight to Tkachev. His release moves are incredible. Straddle to Tkachev, into the pike to Tkachev. Earning some connection bonus there. We'll see what he can do for the rest of the routine, though. And
Can't even imagine where he's getting the energy for this last huge dismount coming up.
Yeah, after such a hard routine, I believe it's coming up here. After the stall to there, get ready. He's winding up. See what happens. Triple pike.
Wow.
Oh, he just about makes that around. Must be terrifying to do over that hard landing there. Take a look in slow motion here. Watch it frame by frame. Look at how high he gets.
Completing 2 flips above the bar.
And that's a 14.5. That's going to get him up onto the podium, just edging out Rene Cornier from Canada. And to be honest, that score seems a little bit low to me, considering just how incredible that routine was, especially with that dismount. But speaking of high start values, here's Milad Karimi, Olympic finalist on high bar. Anyone can make it into the podium. It might be him. Just going to come down to how well he can keep form on this event.
Very common. We've seen a lot of these one-armed elements seem to be really popular.
There are the releases. Casina, he executes that so well. It's such a high-flying skill. And there's the Kovacs, and he connects it to the Coleman.
Wow.
You don't just see that anywhere. Very, very rare you see gymnasts connect Kovac-style skill.
Let alone effortlessly. Oh, a little bit of angle struggles on that stoop path.
You want to see gymnasts finish those skills right in handstand, and he connects the straddle and the pike to Tkachev. What difficulty he has in this high bar routine. Beautiful. He just shot that straight into handstand. There's those dorsal giants.
And here we go, winding up this huge dismount, pulls over the bar. Double, and sticks the landing.
That's
Ooh.
an incredible routine. Take another look at those release moves. A little bit of form deduction. See legs come apart just a touch.
With a routine like that, I don't know. That's going to be pretty tight for one of those top 3 spots.
And a 14.7. Same score as Felix Dulce, but he loses on tiebreaker because he submitted his routine later. Once again, look at that start value of 17.2. Your start values into 17. That's incredible. You saw that transition there. Last up, Ron Filipiak. Saw him earlier on Pommel horse.
Looking for a strong finish here.
Schön, auf geht's.
Simpler release moves there.
Schön. Auf geht's, komm.
Just doesn't quite have the same difficulty as the rest of the gymnasts in this field.
Now I see the teammate standing on the platform with a slide-in mat.
Schön.
Usually these mats are used for safety
Komm, auf geht's,
concerns,
bring
so
time.
interesting to see what will be coming up as the dismount.
Ja.
Double tuck full.
Not even needing the mat. Clean and super far away from that bar.
And he looks happy with that.
Quite the celebration after that dismount. Now, although we won't see him on that podium, that was a good performance.
11.8. Not a bad score for Ron Filipiak. It's going to put him in 10th place. High bar being our shortest event. That concludes all the routines. Over to the results in just a second here. Carlo McKinney scoring $14.9 thousand. Felix Dulce, $14.7, $400. Milad Karimi losing on that tiebreaker rule, $265. And look at how tight that competition is down the rest of that leaderboard.
Overall, awesome performance on high bar. One of my favorite events to watch personally.
That concludes the 5th event high bar. No need for an event randomizer. There's only one event left, and that's vault. We'll see the gymnasts perform there after the break.
Welcome to Delio, simplified same-day local delivery. Proudly Canadian, we are tech and delivery experts who created a valuable delivery extension for your business. Affordable rates, website integrations, and an on-demand delivery agent network enables you to focus on your core business, reduce cost, and increase sales. Getting started is easy, and requesting and tracking deliveries is even easier. Partner with Delio today and experience the Delio difference.
And we're back after that high-flying performance on high bar. Moving on to our last event, vaults. We're going to be seeing some exceptional power from these amazing athletes.
And no need for the event randomizer because we've already gone through the other 5 events. Here's our first routine from Misha Kudanov from New Zealand. We've seen him on all 6 events.
Let's go.
Last routine here, we'll see what he can do.
Now, with the actual skill of vault only lasting a couple seconds, so much of this comes down to those landings. So we're going to be looking for those perfect stuck landings in our top 3 performers.
Lutsenko double twist. Oh, and speaking of which, stuck landing to start off the vault competition.
And that celebration, he is happy.
Once again, a happy chappy. Perfect stick, not a waiver on the landing there. Gonna score him at 15.2. One thing to remember on vault too is not only is the stuck landing important to remove the deductions, but you also get bonuses for the stuck landings in the WGA. Simpler vaults will earn you a 10th in bonus. More complex vaults earn you 2/10 in bonus for a stuck landing. Up next, Abdullah Azimov from Uzbekistan.
Very fast run. Didn't quite stick the landing, but very clean in the air. When the judges are looking at this apparatus, they're looking at the pre-flight, everything that happens before the table, what happens on the table, what happens off the table. And that includes the landing.
So that landing costed him a little bit lower than Misha Kudanov, score of 15.0. Although he certainly excels at staying clean in the air. Here's Misha's teammate Sam Dick on the vault.
Building up for what's surely a powerful vault. Let's see what he's got.
Sam's a powerful gymnast. His best events are vault and rings. See what he can do.
2.5 twist. A small step back.
Most difficult vault we've seen so far. Take another look at it. He's a little close to the table there. He manages to wrap in 2.5 twists. And that's going to put him in first place with a score of 15.5. Big start value of 16.2. Worth noting that our current vault champion, Wade Nelson, is not competing in this Cash Cup, so a new champion will be crowned. Here's Great Britain's Owen Courtney.
Nice simple vault, just a full twist known as a Kazumatsu. Didn't quite stick the landing, so I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him up into those final 3 spots.
Little bent legs, flexed feet, some deductions here and there. Scoring a 14.1. When your start value is the same score as the final score of the top 2 on the leaderboard, it's going to be hard to get into that podium position.
Next up, Leandre. Leandre is known for vault. very, very clean vaulter with your Chenko style vault. Round off onto the board and back handspring off the table. He's got a very, very high percentage of sticking his vaults. Let's see if he can do it again today.
And speaking of which, a stuck Yurchenko 2.5. And that smile tells you that he's happy with that. And look at the form in the air, perfectly straight. You know, it's going to be hard to find a deduction there.
Wow. Topping it off with a 16, moving him into first place and only 2/10 in deduction.
That stick bonus really coming into play here. 5/10 ahead of the rest of the field. Going to be difficult to match.
Dare I say, anyone who wants to rival him must up their difficulty value or be even more perfect than those 2/10.
Going to have some stock vaults. Here's Joe Fury from Great Britain. Saw him on Pommel horse where he came second.
Clean vault, but definitely not enough to top that chart. The start value alone won't be high enough to hit the score of Leandre.
Score of 15.0, putting him in 5th place, just behind Abdullah Azimov on the tiebreaker rule. Here's Ian Gunther. He stuck his Souk double twist last Cash Cup. Will he be able to do it again? He's going to have to be perfect if he wants to get into the leaderboard here. And stick after stick. Another beautiful vault. The reaction tells you that he's happy. Well, it's a huge score from Ian Gunther, a 15.2 that puts him in 4th place. Once again, that tiebreaker rule coming into effect there. Misha Kudanov manages to cling on to his lead.
Impressive for sure. Unfortunately, without that difficulty start value, he won't be able to edge his way into first.
Kom op,
But
jongen.
beautiful performance.
Up next,
Let's
Yaz
go.
Vamsahi from the Netherlands. You can be expecting a big vault from him. Extremely powerful gymnast. Dragolescu.
Wow.
That's a double front off the table with a half twist out. Take another look at that in slow motion.
Impressive to say the least.
Little landing deductions. That's going to score him a 15.7. Putting him in 2nd place. Just couldn't match the perfect execution of Leandre's vault.
But solid performance nonetheless.
Ben Letvin from the United States.
Let's go now.
Here we go. Nice fast run up down the runway.
Souk 2.5. Oh, and again, the stuck landings. Seems like every second vault we get a perfectly done landing. Look at that.
Boom. Now the question is, was that as clean as Leandre?
Well, a 15.9. People just keep one-upping each other on these vaults.
These are some high scores, but Leandre still holds on to that little bit of the lead.
Rene Cornier, he came in the top 3 last Cash Cup. Will he be able to do it again?
Last Cash Cup, I believe we saw the front handspring double. Will he repeat his vault again?
If he wants a chance at the podium, he may need to upgrade it. Here it is again. Handspring double front, and oh, that was very clean. But you know, when the rest of the vaults have been done near perfectly, I just don't see this getting into the podium right now.
Well, I kind of agree with you.
15.6, an incredible score nonetheless. That's going to put him in 4th place.
I think he would have had to stick it to come into contention.
For sure. Anyways, that's halftime on vault. Leandre leads with a score of 16.0. We'll be back after a short message from our sponsors. Halfway point on vault, Leandre Savy leads the score of 16.0. Here's his teammate Felix Dulce on the vault.
Athlete is running.
And another stick. It's just stick after stick. That was a Sukaharu with 2.5 twists. Beautiful vault. Watch it once again.
He knows it's good.
One thing I noticed, a little piked in the air, and that's a 15.8. That's putting him in 3rd place.
Not bad at all. He'll be happy with that performance.
There's Riley Luce, teammate of Ian Gunther. Both of them competing on the vault. Expect something difficult from him.
I think we're going to need to start seeing some triple twists if we're going to raise the difficulty score high enough to beat Leandre, though.
Or rather, a front handspring went 2.5. But he does take some landing deductions. Legs apart a little bit. And unfortunately, that hop there still manages to score a 15.6. Look at that start value, 16.6. Only 2 of those we've seen so far. Another Canadian, William Amard.
And again, we've seen a lot of really clean performances from William. Every vault is one of the same.
Athlete's running.
The runway to get into the zone.
And a fantastic vault that was, but without that stuck landing, the level of performance we've seen is so high. I don't think he can manage to get into the top 3. What do you think, Lucas?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. It's either a stuck landing or an increased difficulty if they want to get onto that top 3.
And it's evident here, a score of 15.6, putting him in 7th place. It's almost hard to believe. That was such an incredible vault. Just shows you the standard here in this Cash Cup. Milad Karimi, incredible gymnast and strong all-arounder, representing Kazakhstan. See what vault he can do here. Fast run. Oh, and it's a Dragolescu.
Oh,
but just
not quite a stuck landing, but an impressive vault nonetheless.
Just a few steps back there. Almost looks like he stood up too fast. 15.7. Big score there from Milad Karimi. It's going to put him in 5th place. Here's Ron Filipiak from Germany.
Auf geht's, Ron.
A good effort. Unfortunately, with the vault not having high enough difficulty, we won't see him in the top placement.
A little bit of a soft landing too and some steps back. But I would certainly summarize it as a good effort in this Cash Cup. Last time we'll see him here. Score of 14.0. Here's Max Houston Gates. You can expect a unique vault from him here.
Very short level. And with a full twist.
Yeah, it's a new skill from Max. Here we go, called the Kraken. Straddled heck with a full twist. Start value of 13.0 there. You know, I don't think that's going to be scoring him high. Yeah, there at 12.4, but...
Not a bad vault, though, you know? Just like the sponsors, he looked pretty locked in on that landing.
Unique nonetheless. And we're not done with unique vaults. Here's Cole Solomon's.
In the same gym.
Seems like they've had some sort of strategy here. Straddle heck with a half twist there. Another new skill. Called the Kraken 2.
Now, these guys are very, very original in their vaulting techniques.
Seems like they've been up to some different styles of vaults, we could call it.
I don't know if that style of vault will ever be able to produce a difficulty to compete with our top 3.
He was unfortunately 4 full points off of the leaderboard, but here's Dorian Doan from Canada. Soup 2.5.
Yes!
Very, very clean. But you know what? Unfortunately, it's kind of a stick or nothing at this point.
It's the same vault we've seen from all the competitors, so it comes down to who does it best. And a 15-7 is a great score, but it's just not going to challenge top 3.
With height like that, Dorian might be able to add in that extra half a twist to sneak his way up to the leaderboard.
Anyways, Andrew Lehman, the United States. And I wonder if we're just going to see the exact same vault once again at Super Hero 2.5. After all, it is very common in the United States.
Nice quick run-up, building as much speed as possible.
Yep, and there it is. And he takes a small hop. Although he did manage to stay clean in the air. Look at that rotation off the table. Just unbelievable, really. 15-8.
Ooh, good performance. Landing him in 4th place, just shy of 3rd behind Felix.
Ties for 3rd, but the way we break those ties is by whoever submitted the routine first. Anyways, you saw that last up transition. Here is world champion Nicola Bartolini. Although he's a world champion on floor, today we're only seeing him on vault. What can he do?
A powerful leg worker.
Fast run, here he goes. Oh ho! And he sticks it clean. Beautiful in the air. Just completely laid out. That's going to score him a 16.0. That's tying him for the lead with Leandre Seville. But tiebreaker rule comes into effect. What are your thoughts, Lucas?
Oh, you know, that was a vault final to remember. I really like seeing the strong competitors, perfect landings. I think, and moving into the future Cash Cups, we're going to have to see some increased difficulty if we're going to top this.
No other competition has sticks like that. Ben Letvin sneaking into 3rd place there with a 15-9. And hard to believe that 11th place is at 15.6. And then moving down the leaderboard, 15.5. Such strong vaults. And a good job from Colin Max there down at the bottom of the leaderboard. A good effort. Over to our Cash Cup champions. On floor, we see William Ahmad. And you know, personally, I was surprised by that one. Beautiful stuck landings led him to the lead, didn't it?
It did, you know, with such clean in-air skills from all the gymnasts. It really came down to those small landings, and William just happened to have the best landings of today.
Steven Razik, 2-time champion on Pommel, becoming the first repeat champion in the WGA. Really, connection bonus led him to the title.
Yeah, with playing those rules, Steven's going to be really, really hard to actually try to top.
Riley Luce from the United States made good use of planche and Maltese skills.
Incredible strength from Riley. Can't wait to see more from him.
Leandre Seville, that perfect stuck vault and an early submission date led him to the title.
I think Leandre is going to be a contender for the future as well. With such consistency and clean vaults, people are going to have to up their difficulty if we're going to see Leandre bump down to 2nd.
For surely, no one's as clean as him. Jermaine Grunberg, good P-bars routine overall. Clean, strong difficulty.
Yeah, and with such a strong pool on P-bars, Jermaine really stood out with his cleanliness.
And last up, Carlo McKinney from Italy really came down to that dismount and those clean release moves.
Can't wait to see some more from him on high bar and throwing out some huge connections on the horizontal bar in the future.
And those are Cash Cup 2 champions. That concludes the second WGA Cash Cup. Congratulations to all the gymnasts that won prize money. Prize money will be transferred within 24 hours, although please remember that PayPal may hold the money depending on how new your account is. We'll contact you via email if any troubles occur with payment. And remember that full results will be posted on our website on the results page within about an hour. Not only that, but look out for the updates to our global leaderboard on our website, WGAGymnastics.com, to see what gymnasts are now ranked #1 in the world. You can expect to see that within a day. The WGA is not done yet. Stay tuned for more upcoming WGA features and Cash Cups. But before we end, the WGA would once again like to thank our sponsors and partners, those being Meat Critique, Locked In Athletics, and McIsaac & Company. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. We have been your hosts, and thank you everyone for watching.